My name's Jon Calvin-Thomas. I was the singer of Zipper from about 1975 for 4 or 5 years. We didn't have that real sort of punk guitar sound of the people like the Buzzcocks and the Damned and the Sex Pistols. But we tried to have that sort of energy and sort of freaky on-stage madness. We had a residency at the Lion's Den, which probably went on for maybe a year or 18 months, something like that. It was a cellar bar, really. You used to go down some stairs. There was a big bar upstairs in the Great Western Hotel, and this bar was downstairs, so you went down. It was pretty pokey. I seem to remember classic sort of pub floor where your feet stuck to it as you walked through on a carpet that probably was multicoloured at one point, but had got grimier and grimmer as time had gone on. The stage was slightly raised at the end of the room with lots of pretty tatty old band posters from over the years up behind. The bar sort of ran along the side of to the left-hand side of the room. And then there was the seats on the right had like a bench all the way running the whole length of the bar. And one of my little tricks was to, in the middle of songs, jump off the stage onto the back of these benches and go running along and singing and sort of spilling people's pints as they sat in front of me. So in a way, I think that's part of the reason people used to come, because it was all a bit unpredictable and it wasn't sort of choreographed in any way. It was just on the spur of the moment. I suppose the crowning achievement of gigs in Cardiff was to get a residency at the New Moon Club. It was the most extraordinary club down in at the back end of town, and you climbed up a long, narrow, rickety staircase to get to this old warehouse, sort of strange triangular shape. And there were just a range of characters and people from all walks of life there. It was a place we always wanted to play. There was a Christmas decoration hanging up, one solitary star which had been there for about 4 years. Everything was painted black with peeling paint. The only beer you could buy was Newcastle Brown in bottles. It was a legendary place, and once we got a residency there, we felt we'd really arrived in Cardiff. To start with, we used to play covers. They were sort of standard things that were done at the time, Rolling Stones songs and the odd Beatles song and some R&B and that sort of thing. But then Andy Bryce joined as the bass player. He was a great songwriter. Life of Riley was one of Andy's, and it was obvious from the beginning that was the song that was most called for by the audience and was the most popular. It was the most bouncy sort of commercial song in the set, I think, and that's how it was a natural choice for the first single. We had a record plugger that happened to hear one of our songs on John Peel's programme. His name was Howard Marks. He's not the famous Howard Marks, but he really liked Life of Riley, and he rang us up one day and said, look, I think I plug records at Radio 1 and Luxembourg and a lot of other stations, and I think I could do something with this song and get you a deal. Sure enough, he went along to Virgin Records and said to them, look, I've got this band, and they took us on. I then was in the kitchen making a sandwich or something, and I had a phone call. And this voice said, "Oh, hello, it's Andy Peebles from Radio 1. You know, at the time he was doing The Breakfast Show, which was the most popular show on European radio at the time, so it had a massive listenership. And here he was ringing me up in the middle of his show in between records, or at least when a record was playing. And at first I thought it was somebody, pretending to be him, but it turned out it was him. And he said, "Look, I really like this song. Howard has brought it in, and we'd like to make it Record of the Week." In our own small way, we used to get recognised as we walked through Cardiff, and you'd have people shouting across St Mary's Street or Queen Street, "Oi, Zipper!" It was all really exciting. I was in my early 20s, and while it doesn't compare with the meteoric rise of a lot of bands, for me and for us, it was really, really good fun, exciting times.